Why? What happened here? That is very strange. I don't know why that happened.
All right. Well, we were starting, but now we're just wandering around. Welcome, friends. You're here to reaffirm your faith in the God Emperor with episode 15 of Rogue Trader: The Last Scion. Some call this episode Dying Embers. Others are really worried because the names of the episode can be very concerning, and that one's not so good. What else can I say?
It could also just mean that the fire from my gun works real good. I don't know.
Well, it could also mean that your gun stops working.
There's got to be at some point in this game where I start just creating episode titles to troll you, Arthur. Like nothing to do with the game at all, just to, like Nero's Last Stand episode title.
Look, some of my first BattleTech titles I thought were really good. Descending Rain. What was it? Descending Shield was the name of the first episode title, and I thought that was really good. Some of the other ones were not so good. Anyway, I
liked your season where it's all based on chess moves.
Yes.
Chess strategy.
Yeah. I think that was somewhere in season 2. Flank Pawn Trade really stands out there.
Yep.
Nero's Last Stand, he dies of a heart attack in his sleep. Whew, that's too real. Listen, that's not Nero's Last Stand. That's going to be my own last stand. I've been playing a lot of Hell Let Loose, Etheric Vulgaris, and Big Spoon, and that has pretty much been my life right now, is surviving and playing Hell Let Loose for like 3 hours in the middle of the night. What else can I say?
This is why you're against my World War II tank. I've never heard of this game.
I've been target identifying and sneaking up behind Panthers and Tigers all week long. Yesterday, I discovered that with my skill at mathematics, I am actually really good at artillery. Like, obscenely good. I've only managed 2 team kills, but I'm hovering somewhere near 100 enemy kills on artillery. It's fucking incredible. Being artilleried, being the subject of artillery, was so shitty. Eventually, I was just like, how does this work? And then, like 10 minutes later, I was like, I'm now an expert on artillery. Let's get these mills out here, bro. Give me the elevation. Yeah. Pondo, you look like you're busy. Let's hop over to you.
Hi, I'm Pondo. I don't know why AP is always concerned about the title. I just see it as James is like, call it this week.
You can usually tell based on how soon before the episode I give you the title. It's like, I better think of one. Damn.
Yeah, it was done about the same time you sent the thing about the profit factor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got the Indominus box today.
Cool.
Shamefully. But,
you painting it up? Wait, what do you mean shamefully?
Well, I didn't finish what I was working on before.
Oh.
And then you're doing that. Then you're doing it correctly. That is the correct way to consume this product.
So it's not that the Indominus box is filled with shame. It's that you're filled with shame about.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
I got it with shame. Cotton hasn't left me yet though, so that's a good sign.
Give it time.
So because you're a popular like YouTuber and Twitch streamer, you need to do like one of those videos where you show off your pile of shame.
I don't have that big of a pile though. I guess it's like, well, this is my almost pile of shame. And it's not very big. Just started. Now look at this guy's, where he has like a whole closet full of stuff. And mine is just kind of stuff in a corner. In a couple of cabinets. But I've been playing a lot of Valkyrie Chronicles, actually.
Hey, that's a good one. I like that game.
Number 4?
It's number 4. I don't have the first one.
Okay.
Number 4 is still pretty good.
The first one was landing in a bottle for me, though. The fourth one was like too slice of lifey. Like it takes way too long to get into the game, I think. To be honest, in the fourth
I can
one.
see what you mean. Because it was like 2 or 3 missions it took just to get to the part where you can actually like buy stuff and upgrade things.
Oh yeah, the first one was like
it's gonna get really frustrating when you have to spend a whole mission without being able to go to headquarters to level up or buy anything.
Yeah. Though I do remember I played a little bit of the fourth one. And sorry, of the first one, like the only thing that pissed me off about the first one was that there are certain characters that are immune to death.
Yes, that happens in the fourth one as well. All leadership characters can't be killed.
Yeah, and that kind of annoyed me because, like, you know, I had a couple of characters that were like, specifically, it was like an anime girl with red hair or something.
You're talking about the Valkyrias.
Yeah,
the ones that are like, so obscenely powerful. Oh no, you're talking about Rosie. All right, I understand.
Yeah, Rosie, that's her name. Yes.
Yeah. Stormtrooper.
She made a valiant sacrifice, and I was like, okay. But then she never showed up in the game like as a playable character, but she just showed up in cutscenes, and I was like, okay, that kind of broke it for me a little bit. But you know.
Well, in the fourth one, if your leadership characters die, they don't actually really die. You can still keep using them forever and ever. But I
haven't had any deaths happen so far because usually I pick them up as soon as possible.
It's gonna get somewhere around 6 or after a Siegfall line. The difficulty is just like, oh, you thought this game was too easy? You're a fucking scrub. They're gonna be like, your whole team isn't made of grenadiers? You lose automatically. You don't have 6 snipers on your team? Automatic loss.
I mean, it's typically...
How far in are you?
Chapter... I just finished the siege, sieging the camp that's in the valley. Where they're preventing them from going to Gallia with all their supplies.
Boy. You got some time, bro. You got some time.
Yeah, I think I'm chapter 8 or 7. 8 or 9.
The difficulty is about to start ramping up really hard.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've already did that one once, and I found out that the trains can really mess you up.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, mostly it's been relatively easy once I figure out how the mechanics and what you need to do to just ace something.
You mean send a scout ahead? Stick a scout in an APC?
Essentially, it's after you get the APC, you pretty much stuff either some assault or scouts in it. And then just rush the...
It's going to get a lot harder, I assure you. The other big spike in difficulty is doing the squad stories for all of the characters.
Yeah, I didn't really have a problem with those either. Except for like one where it's just scouts and there's like a whole bunch of tanks and stuff. I can't remember the name. It was Godwin and Nikos. So I figured out that the main idea is just to ignore everything and rush to the end. I beat it in like the first turn. Second try.
That's generally how the game works.
Just wait until you get Azusa's. That took me like 6 or 7 tries.
Azusa.
You haven't unlocked her yet. She's not there.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the games is just, to get the A rank, you just kind of have to rush it and just ignore everything.
Yeah, you're being trained poorly. Don't worry, it's gonna get harder. You'll enjoy it, except when the shitty murder lollies show up. They're really bad, and I hate them.
Shitty murder lollies.
You'll know when they arrive. It'll be super anime.
It's like a mook squad of fucking...
It's little girls they're like 12 and 13. They're trained to torture people to death. They're like Russian. They show up and they're just like, hee, let's torture everyone on the battlefield. And I'm like, you want me to kill these children? What is wrong with you, Valkyria Chronicles 4? They use crossbows to fight with it.
I don't really have this. I probably would shoot. It took me a while to get used to the mechanics, how it worked. So I got really annoyed with the sniper at the beginning because it seemed like it always just barely missed the head.
What? Kai has like 100% hit rate. Put a telescope on her.
I didn't have a telescope yet, and so I didn't have that chance.
All right.
No, at first it was very much if you weren't close enough, you could easily miss the head, which I guess I was never close enough.
Make sure you're picking the right weapon for Kai.
Well, it was just at the beginning.
Okay.
Eventually, I got like the Wasp 1R, which had like amazing accuracy. So then I didn't have any problems. Then I ran into the problem where it wasn't doing enough damage, so I had to switch to something else. It seems to be.
I did not have this problem. Interesting.
I'm playing on normal difficulty, which I don't know if it matters.
Oh, I'm playing on hard mode. For me, Kai always one hit head kills everything. Unless they're the big problem is if somebody's crouched, in which case you have to hit him with a grenadier first to destroy their cover.
It's the only times I didn't have the only ones I didn't one hit kill things were if they're the enemy leaders, because sometimes it would take 2 shots, or people in mounted guns like the tank gun or the machine gun. You couldn't quite shoot them from a distance, which didn't make any sense to me half the time. But
what's the leader guy's name? I want to say Claude, but that's Fire Emblem.
Claude.
Oh, it is Claude?
It is Claude.
When he's on foot, his power is incredible. I take out mounted guns with him with just the 5-gun headshot really easily.
Yeah, he's got like insane accuracy and everything.
Yep.
And I'm just sometimes like, can I just get Claude on foot?
What? No, the tank is amazing.
Huh? The tank is great.
Yes.
But also some occasions where I want Claude on foot.
Okay. Don't worry. You'll get a really good scout coming up very soon.
I think it's Minerva, yeah.
It is Minerva.
I've seen bits and pieces of some spoilers that I didn't want, but I figured there would have been eventually that Minerva would be on your team anyway.
Yeah. She's pretty much the Claude of scouts.
Interesting.
I don't know how to say it any other way. Her animation is
about
weird,
the wind
though.
all day, saying the wind has changed.
No, but her stats are really good. She always does this thing where she adjusts her glasses after she kills somebody.
That's like the prime move. That'd be weird.
Does it do like the light reflecting off the glasses?
No, it's just the glass adjustments, and it's in that really Japanese way where it's like 4 fingers to adjust it. It's not just somebody like. Yeah, they do that. They like a full-on temple push. Yeah, I don't get it. You got anything else going on, Pondo? I mean, we could talk about Valkyria Chronicles all day, but
no, that's about it. Yeah, playing of that. Got the Indominus box. That's been about my week.
They're probably gonna catch up to me pretty soon. I'm only on like a mission 12 or 13. It'll slow down though. I assure you that like the missions immediately start getting really hard.
Why are you two playing it now? It came out like a long time ago.
I don't know. It was on sale the other day, and I was like, God damn, I'm super bored.
Oh, okay, so there was a sale. So it was some sort of... Because it felt like some weird sort of Osmos event that I missed, where suddenly
you should join us.
People that I knew were just like, yeah, Valkyria Chronicles 4. That sounds like a good idea.
Listen, that's how it worked with Fate Grand Order. There was one time on stream where I talked about Fate Grand Order, and like 6 people started playing, and they all added me, and I got all the bonuses for them using me as a friend, and then they stopped playing, and I stopped getting those bonuses. But I was like, I was pretty good for a while there.
That's why he still talks about it now, to try and get more people to join up and
listen. That's no lie. It's true.
I mean, you could join Arthur's Patreon, or you could join him in this gotcha game in order to drive resources to his inbox.
I mean, I typically do that.
They both go into the gotcha game anyway, so what does it fucking...
Look, in Lost, there was this concept in time traveling of something called an anchor, where it was a thing that you did in the past and also in the present in order to unite the two. Mine would probably be Fate Grand Order from here on out. That's my anchor. You know, speaking of anchors, Henley, Dave, what do you got?
Hey. I'm losing my fucking mind.
That was weird, but yeah, let's go with it.
Losing my mind. What day is it now? Okay, so 2 days
Saturday.
from now,
maybe
2
Sunday
days
for
from
you.
now, I'm releasing a game. It's the first time in my life where I've actually had, like, you know, the game will come out and it will actually be significant for me as a person, rather than for like the person that I'm employed by.
You're saying you're deeply invested in it personally.
Yes,
Understood.
incredibly so. and I'm there was a lot of nerves going around, like can't sleep, just completely worried about inconsequential things. Like whenever I look at the numbers are real fucking good, but that still doesn't calm me down, surprisingly. So I'm sitting around just being like, well, what's a good thing to take my mind off of all of this stuff? There's not a lot that takes your mind off of that sort of stuff. So it's kind of like I'm stuck in hell. But having said that, I have been watching a lot of Modern Family at the moment. And that's been kind of nice. I mean, that show is very strange, but at the same time, it started early enough where like technology advanced with the show, but the consistency of the show has, like, in terms of writing, in terms of like presentation and all that stuff, has stayed with it all the way. So it's a very odd thing to talk about because some of the characters in there went from being like, yeah, I'm 6 years old to, yeah, I'm 22 years old now, and it's like, yeah, man, what the fuck, crazy. But yeah, I don't know. That's about it. That's really all I wanted to say.
Dave, I don't know what the fuck's happening, man. I don't think I have the Henley, Connor Hughes, Sputnik, Steam hentai games enabled. But you just showed up at the top of my popular upcoming list on Steam.
Yeah.
You're right above SCP Pandemic Alpha.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, the numbers are real good right now.
Right.
And
I'm just telling you, you're showing up on Normie Steam right now.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, it's happening.
I don't think that's possible. If that's happening, man.
You know what they
like,
say? The chance of an event happening is 100% if it's already happened.
That might explain why my numbers are stupid high today. So, hang on. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Doesn't. Yeah, it's marked as adult only, so you can only see it if you set your preferences that way.
I haven't set such preferences. I'm telling you, I'm full on normie. I'm vanilla. That's how I roll.
Oh, there's a good way for me to check. I'll just create a, an incognito tab and visit Steam.
Okay. You got anything else going on, Henley? Big Spoon's saying he sees it. Are you part of the normie clan, Big Spoon, or are you part of the what are we calling it? Adult only?
Hold up.
I call it Team Connor Hughes now.
Nah, man, it's definitely not there. Like, okay. I'm on incognito and I don't see it.
All right.
You might see it because you're friends with me. I don't know.
That's true.
Wait,
it's possible. We are.
I mean, like,
it's actually on mine too, and I don't have it enabled either. I just checked. It's like number 2.
What is happening?
Look, Dave, you've bled over. You're in normie world now, bitch. You're in my world. You thought you were in your world? You're in my world.
Are you logged in? Are you logged in?
I'm on Steam right now.
I'm on Steam. Yeah. All right. I'll take myself off invisible mode. I can see you.
I will screenshot it for you and everything.
All right. Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't have you on Steam, Dave. What are you, Henley?
Yeah, Henley. Yeah.
I don't see you.
That is really strange, because I checked the numbers today and I'm like, 14,000 people visited the page in the past like 5 hours, and I'm like,
Well, now it's 14,001.
Damn.
You got anything else going on, Dave?
Nah, man.
Beyond accidentally releasing your salacious video game to the general public.
I mean, I checked it. It's still adult only, unless my publisher's being all fucky wucky.
I mean, you could just assume it's Steam's fault.
I wonder if you're registered as 21 up, it'll show.
No. I mean,
I wonder if it's like a Steam. I don't know.
I'm gonna send my publisher a message real quick. Make sure he doesn't fuck some shit up, because it's really bad. Because Steam will be like, "And now I'm gonna remove that." So
it also, I don't know. I got nothing, but.
James, what do you got?
What have I got? So, big thing this weekend has been the 9th edition launch, which was yesterday for me, today for some others. Played my first game yesterday. Lost my first game yesterday of 9th edition.
So you're 0 for 1. That's not bad.
Yes, that's right. Well, I lost my first game 8th edition as well, but I still seemed to come up on top in that overall. But we did work out after the fact that we'd messed up one thing pretty egregiously, and also my opponent had really cheated on his points because he used Battle Scribe to work out his points. And in Battle Scribe, when you break up your army into detachments, it shows you at the top of each detachment like what its total value is. And although he had 3 detachments, he'd only looked at the front page at the value of the first detachment, and so he was sure he had the right number of points, but he actually had 2 additional detachments of units that he wasn't actually counting. So I was horribly outnumbered, which we worked out after the fact. But other than that, we had a good time, and I like the fact that the way the secondary objectives work in 9th edition now, in terms of you pick your objectives so that you don't have to worry about the weirdness of trying to modify your strategy every turn to work around whatever weird shit the game throws at you randomly. So you get
like first strike, and then it's interesting. It's like you essentially have to. It's for you to be able to focus on what strategy you want to do.
Yeah, what works for your army and what works for your against your opponent.
So
too. No point in taking,
does each side pick its own secondary objectives and then you play towards those? Interesting.
Yeah, so the primary objective is set by the mission, and then each side picks its secondaries, and you know what your opponent's army is before you pick your secondaries. So there's no point in taking Titan Slayers if your opponent has no Titanic models.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So what I did was I analyzed the game afterwards to work out how was my selection of secondary strategies, was it good or was it bad? But could I have gotten more points if I did the same thing but picked different options? And overall, I think we picked, out of the 3, we both picked 2 good ones and 1 bad one. So it just takes some getting used to. So that was fun. And also, like Pondo, I haven't even touched the sprues in the box yet. We've just played with existing stuff. We played. I played Craft Worlds versus his World Eaters. And because we made a mistake and did it on too small a board, his melee shit was in my face, fucking up my stuff really early. So it didn't go down too well for me. I was tabled on the 5th turn. What else? I've almost finished my 1/16th scale remote control tank. I've been working on during my holidays and extended into my non-holidays. This week I based on your Cyberpunk stream, Arthur, I actually started playing Shadowrun Returns again. I never finished the Hong Kong expansion. Like I did the other ones, but I haven't finished the Hong Kong one. So I restarted the Hong Kong one to go and do that.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought Shadowrun Hong Kong was the best one, actually.
I really liked Dragonfall.
I did not. I thought Dragonfall was the worst one myself.
Really?
But,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. The story just put me to sleep. I was so bored.
Okay. Well, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, so I never got very far through it before. I'm not very far through it now, so I can't speak to the quality of the story in Hong Kong yet. But that's been about my week. The weather here has turned pretty horrible now, so
that's normal though, right?
Well, it's winter. It's the middle of winter. But I mean, aside from having to socially isolate, it's easy to do that when outside it's just constant rain.
Around here we have constant rain and also 100 degrees, so it's like living in a jungle without the trees.
I lived in the UK where your 2 options are rain or fog, pretty much. So,
it is fascinating to see the weather patterns that make the United Kingdom livable. The way that the warm water comes up and falls down on the island and generally keeps it in a very narrow temperature band. It's one of the few places in the world that have that. And now, when it gets too hot, the entire country sets itself on fire.
I mean, livable is a subjective term.
Well, look, you're not Scottish, right? So,
no.
Wow, that's right, Scotland. Suck it.
Presumably, anybody can live in the environment they were raised in, though. So.
What about someone who was born in Chernobyl?
I mean, they can still live.
I lived in when I lived in upstate New York. My biggest complaint there was during winter, having to come out in the morning and literally dig my car out of snow.
Yeah, that must have been a unique experience for you.
Yeah, I mean, snowed when I lived in the UK as well, and when I lived in Germany, but it just, it was like a dusting of snow.
I was going to say that having to
morn.
unsnow your driveway sounds totally normal to me. I didn't.
Yeah. Whereas my children have only seen snow in movies.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw snow. It was like this much, and it was in Poland, and I was fucking ecstatic. I was like, yeah, and then now I hate it because it's just like
that's how the state of Georgia works. They forget what snow is like 365 days of the year, and then that one day of the year that it snows in Georgia, everyone's like, you can keep driving at full speed, right? We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I still get worried about driving in I get worried about black ice, not having sort of experienced black ice normally. So I always get very tense about driving when it's snowing in other countries.
Good stuff. Driving on black ice.
That's what I got.
I just, after having spent years driving through the winter, I don't know how to describe it. There's a reason I went to driving school.
To get your license?
You don't need to go to driving school to get a license in the United States.
Okay.
I went to driving school after I got my license. Well, when I'm talking about driving school, I don't mean I learned how to drive. I learned how to drive in emergency.
You mean defensive driving?
Yes,
yeah?
I mean defensive driving taught by former CIA and FBI drivers. Why are you doing this?
I'm just imagining how extreme that must have been.
Okay, so it's just like when you drive in a test car where the instructor also has a wheel and pedals that all work.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want you to imagine that you are in groups of 3 and you are either one of the 2 people in the back seat or the person in the driver's seat. And then they get you going 120 miles down a straightaway towards a wet pad. And they're like, we're going to sling you in a circle around the wet pad. And you're going to drift around it without breaking contact with the road. And so if you're the 2 people in the back seat, you are entirely at the mercy of the person in the front seat. And then they make you do that dozens of times in a row. And they just rotate who's in the front seat. So yes, you learn from a passenger and a driver perspective what it is like to be in high-speed accidents.
I mean, in some ways, the driver's at the mercy of the people in the back seat because they're a weight point.
I was taught if you need to take a hit, you take it on the passenger side of the car. If you absolutely must crash and there's nothing else about it, it's more important that the driver be able to recover the vehicle afterwards than the person in the front right-hand seat. Well, for Americans, the front right-hand seat survive. So kill your passenger if you have to.
So back in 1999, when I was still working as a bodyguard, I went and did. They didn't call it this, but we called it the offensive driving course. So they called it tactical situational driving. I think it was what the name of the course was. It was $5,500. They started the weekend with 7 vehicles that were all no longer roadworthy. All the windows had been removed. They were just junkers. They started and they ran, but that was it. And by the end of the weekend, they were fit for nothing except for scrap, because the exercises were all like the pitting technique, using your vehicle as a weapon, like the idea that if someone's shooting at your vehicle, that running them down is just as effective as shooting back at them, for example, from the point of use of deadly force. Low control maneuvers, oil painting, all that sort of stuff. And it was so much fun. But yeah, like I came out with so many bruises, and yeah, these cars were just absolutely wrecked at the end of it all. And they do it once every sort of 6 months, this course.
So I did mine at Summit Point, West Virginia at BSR driving school. Just in case there's any West Virginians around here that want to repeat my experience. Of course, that was almost 20 years ago, so who knows how terrible the course is now. Probably have you flip the car over, travel on the
full of potholes.
Listen, it's at the Summer Point Motor Parkway. The road is really good there.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
Listen, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually repair roads. We've been doing it for most of a century.
How long have you been in West Virginia? Since you've been in West Virginia?
How
long have you droned
7,
through?
8 years. It's been about 8 years since I've been in West Virginia.
The roads aren't great.
Listen, you think the roads aren't great in West Virginia? Let me. I don't know what to tell you. There's some bad roads out there.
There are bad roads out there. I'm just saying that, as I know, as far as at least a year ago, a little over a year ago,
Morgantown had some pretty
great.
good roads. I suppose that when I traveled between different sides of West Virginia, I went through Maryland because it was a straight line.
Okay, Charleston area, not that great.
Sorry, I didn't go down that far south, bro. I was the middle finger and I was the thumb, all right? That's where I traveled. You know what I'm talking about. Non-West Virginians don't understand.
I do. I got the joke.
We ready to kick this thing off?
I think we are.
All right.
Over to me, I guess.
Well, before we go to you, James, did you just say something about Twitch Prime? Subscribing on Twitch Prime using Amazon Prime in order to subscribe to twitch.tv/APGamingREAL? Sorry, I thought I heard you say something about that, but I just wanted to elucidate on it.
If I didn't, I should have.
I certainly heard it, and I'm sure we all heard it together. And, you know, for people on YouTube, an upvote, a like, and a comment helps embed the videos deeper into the dynamic, what are we calling it now? The algorithm?
Yep.
Yes, you can even give it down if you didn't like it. It will grievously hurt me, but you could give a dislike.
I don't think the likes or the dislikes do anything outside of measure interaction.
Yes, which raises it in the analytics. Look, the like to dislike ratio raises my morale. Like when I did that, me cosplaying as McCree while also doing the McCree voice video that got more dislikes than likes. And everyone was like, you don't sound anything like him. And you're bad at this game. And I was like, this is my first time playing McCree. All right, James. Now it truly is over to you.
Okay, no worries. So, welcome to episode 15. Previously on the Last Scion, Rogue Trader, we see Pierre Cowles brutally execute the administrator of Solitude Station in the command center. We watch as shuttles full of mercenaries and soldiers land on the asteroid to address the minor population. We watch a running gun battle through the mines of Solitude perpetrated by those same mercenary soldiers. We see Cowles' personal shuttle touch down in the hangar bay of an ancient Eldari space station. And then finally, we watch as the group battles for their lives against a pair of Eldari wraith constructs. The thought for the day is our presence remakes the past. So, I believe when we last left off, there'd been a battle, there'd been some injuries, there'd been some discussion about do we quit this place or do we continue? Inquisitor Shrain was keen to still investigate, at least find your way to the central command area of this station. Nero seemed to feel, despite his injuries, that he was more than capable of carrying on. But other than that, I believe you're in a chamber surrounded by boxes of weapons and a couple of dead things made of some sort of glowing bone.
I have a question, James.
Yes.
I have hatred pirates. Does that apply to Eldari Corsairs, or does that would that be hatred Eldari?
I mean, I would say that probably it would apply mostly to human pirates, but
okay,
it's up to you. I mean, at the end of the day, Eldari Corsairs still.
I would hate for the Inquisitor to be like, yes, we must negotiate with the Corsairs, and then the Corsairs show up, and I'm just like, well, it says on my character sheet that I really want to fucking murder them, and then I have a -5 to negotiate with them, so I start killing them immediately.
Well, nothing here you've come across as Corsairs. This all appears to be craft worlds. Not that you probably have much differentiation between them. As far as you're concerned, they're just all Eldar.
So what we get to see is Nero is holding his heavy bolter at the chest level while rotating his torso and then doing knee-high self-marches as he goes, okay, I think that I'm feeling better now. Just a little bit of that God Emperor's faith from Dawn. Just
Give him the
allow me
finger
to
guns.
understand. I was recently viciously shot in the chest and then teleported several meters in a random direction, so I might be a little addled. Lord Captain, we are investigating your mother's previous acquisition of this space station, which is absolutely filled to the brim with Eldari technology that we aren't selling for reasons that we don't understand, and that your mother didn't sell for reasons that we don't understand. And we're here helping, and Nero points with one hand, Inquisitor Cassius Schrain investigate the space station because we like him.
Yes.
And we're going to give the space station away to the Corsairs so that they will stop attacking the Koronus Expanse.
Possibly.
Okay. Good to go. He says as he loads an ammunition strip into his gun.
Just making sure that trip through the warp didn't addle your mind.
Yeah,
Is that it?
exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And definitely also catch the audience up on what exactly we're doing here.
Yep. I think we'd also established through Schrain's comments that the Wraith Guard, their coloring didn't match the other. Like it seemed to be different to the coloring of the vehicles and weapons that were in this place as well. They were foreign to this place.
Oh, and just for the audience's sake, we started with profit factor 39 and we're up to 48, so I think that's like a +9, right?
Yeah, so you're up to 43 as of last episode, but you got 5 more points from
making that thing work. Yeah.
That's right.
48 profit factor. Maybe one of these days we'll actually manage to hire some troops to help us. Could happen.
Yep. Probably not well on an Eldari space station. Probably a bad place to do acquisitions. But
look, I'm just
also
saying.
in a place where we're like, if we send a message, it's a month out. It's a month. It gets there a month later.
I'm just saying. We've previously had problems with profit factor. Those problems.
Yeah, I understand. Well, now at least be a 38% chance. Well, 38 plus, depending on what I get on my commerce roll. Instead of a 33, roughly. Right?
Every little bit counts.
The thing is, 1%'s add up over time until you hit 100%, and then you just get whatever you want whenever you want.
I don't foresee us getting that anytime soon.
We'll get there. Season 3.
Unless this whole station is worth over 100 profit factors, then I'll sell it immediately.
We'll get there.
All right, so Schrain interrupts. I don't really have a knowledge of how this place is laid out, so my suggestion would be that we just try and make our way towards the middle and try and find a way up into the spire, unless anyone's got any other suggestions, or we just wander.
We could explore by keeping a hand on the right-hand wall.
I like my idea more.
I understand, Inquisitor. I was just offering options. Where I come from, we call it Horus's Advocate. Playing Horus's Advocate. What's the name of the dude who rose up against the Emperor?
Yes, Horus Lupercal.
Yes, yeah. We call it playing Horus's Advocate. It's when somebody disagrees with the person in charge in order to make a really bad suggestion.
Very well. Shall we? He sets off, in the lead. We should probably, just in case there's more of those things, we should probably try and maintain a lower profile. Not that last battle was very low profile.
Okay. You'll let me know whether I should or shouldn't shoot Eldari based on their status as living or non-living?
I am prepared to say that until I say otherwise, anything in here is a viable target. Sorry. Let me refer back. Lord Captain, this is of course your property currently, so I don't want to be instructing your man on how to do his job. Again.
Well, at the moment, those constructs, I believe, is what they are. They did explode like constructs. I'm going to assume they are.
Consider them the equivalent of a dreadnought from Eldari terms.
Oh, interesting.
Nero's looking around like, yeah, okay, taking out a dreadnought. Woo!
I mean, they were a lot shorter than the dreadnought that you destroyed previously, but
well, halfway destroyed. Well, mostly destroyed. I'll say if another one comes around that seems to attack us or seems to be hostile, shoot. If not, I would love to be able to. What's the word? Negotiate, reason with, etc., etc.
Do you speak Eldari, sir?
No?
I think he's talking to the Inquisitor. Or
No, I was talking to Pierre because he saw that he wants to negotiate. Pierre or Nero knows the answer to the question.
No, but possibly our dear Inquisitor here might.
I understand. Perhaps we can use non-aggressive sign language.
he does not speak Eldari. There you go.
Oh, well, all right.
Dawn, Sister Dawn, do you speak
We'll just have to hope
Eldari?
that one of them knows Gothic.
No, I don't see why any one of our order would attempt to learn the language.
These things are not my specialty.
What was the there was like an order of the church that deals with that. What was that
The
called?
Ordo Dialogus.
Yes.
Yeah, they sort of they're the ones that know the forbidden stuff, so no one else has to.
Mm-hmm. That is a task for another order, Nero.
Well, this place seems dead anyway, or at least haunted by the dead. So I don't imagine there'll be much chance for conversation, but time will tell.
All right, so Nero's going to try to stay within 2 meters of Shrain so that if anything happens to Shrain, Nero can use
bodyguard again.
Bodyguard, yeah.
Yep. So he starts sort of trying to navigate your way through, and this place isn't complicated in its layout. You know, it's all quite straightforward. You know, there's clear central corridors that lead towards the central core. What you start to notice as you're making your way through, though, is that because all the walls here are made of this sort of clean, polished bone, and you start to see additional superstructures within the halls that are like other slightly different colored bones that have been almost grafted into the wall. It's almost like if you took a hollow building that already had its frame, and you took the frame of another building and retrofitted it inside to add additional support. It's like that almost. So so the existing building existed, and someone has put additional reinforcement into from other materials, from other another type of building, and just retrofitted it in. That's what it reminds you of. And the newer bone seems to have a pulsing glow to it. That give me awareness rolls at -10.
Well, just tell us we don't need it. We don't see anything. That'll make us feel better. Well, for at least 2 of us. This is
2.3 degrees of success.
start
Wow.
assuming that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I have the right.
-6.8. I'm gonna have to hit a 5, so it's essentially the same as hitting a nat 20.
All right. So, Dave, what Door notices with this sort of pulsing is that because it's sort of like you see pulse of light move along these sort of bone constructs along the corridors.
Is it like a
almost-
vein kind of light? Like I'm trying to imagine it. Like is it like a is it on a path or is it like just
Yeah, they're
the
on
whole structure?
paths. So like
Okay,
the outer wall is more like just solid bone, whereas these are sort of like think of like when you see pictures of like neurons in the brain, where like all these.
Oh
sort of
yeah,
paths-
no, that's what I was thinking, like a synapse firing off or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So with your degree of success, you get the impression that some of these things are responding to your presence, and they're actually, as you come near, they start to form a consistent pathway. Like they're actually like almost like landing lights. They become less random when everybody's closer, and they begin to sort of like all the neurons sort of fire in the same direction as though sort of trying to guide.
Okay. So, Lord Captain, I get the feeling that these lights, these pulses, directing our attention into a pathway that would lead us to something, someone. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not sure how you want to proceed, but this is the feeling that I get from seeing this.
Are you saying that the ship is alive and it wants us to go somewhere?
I'm not sure that is what I am saying, Nero, but I can honestly say that whatever's at the helm of this maybe wishes to converse. I'm not familiar with the Necrons, so... sorry, not Necrons, Adari. Yeah, sorry. Perhaps they are smart enough to realize that we are best to discuss rather than fight.
Or they're trying to lead us into a trap.
Well, so as Master of Arms, I am assuming that you have already thought of that possibility, yes?
Yep.
So my limited understanding, as the Inquisitor again, is that when the Eldar die, that whatever it is they have that passes for souls goes into those gemstones that they own, and they bring them back to places like this, and they transfer those souls into these things. And he points to sort of like the veins of bone around you, which would indicate that these are ghosts of formerly living Eldar populating this thing, trying to lead us somewhere.
So Nero goes, wait, didn't we give you one of those things when we killed that Eldari? You know, the one that was turning towards us with a weapon?
So Trevor, did you give it to Train or did you keep it? I thought that Pierre kept it.
I remember him seeing it.
All right, so Nero says that because Nero believes that we gave everything to Shrain. Well, why don't we just release that person into this ship and they can tell them that we're all very scary and shooty? Well, I guess they already know. Well,
even if I had that gem, I wouldn't know how to do that.
Wait, do you have it, Lord Captain?
Yes, I still have it.
Oh.
I thought it was a fancy gem.
Can I see it?
I don't have it on me.
Oh, well, I just wanted to like step on it real quick.
I have a feeling that's not how that works, but sure.
What? No. I mean, I want to kill it again. It's still alive while it's in the gem. That's what Dawn just told us. And the Inquisitor.
I don't think I said anything like that.
No, the two of you together came to a conclusion. All right, the Inquisitor just told us.
How about this?
I mean, I love your leap of faith, Nero. Let's just say that.
Look, I'm just saying I want to kill the same person twice. I haven't done it before.
How about this? I'll have someone bring the gem to us, and then we'll take it with us, and then from that point, No. You already eviscerated it once to a point that at a molecular level it is gone.
Nero looks incredibly proud at this point.
I have no idea what level of sentience this thing maintains after its death either.
I see. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call Eldari incredibly sentient. I mean, they can speak, I assume.
What sentience would you place on an animal like a dog?
Not sentience.
I mean, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. I'm going to go to a point where I'm going to Vox over, so I'm going to bring over the stone.
And a packed lunch. God damn it.
The Eldari soul in a jar, essentially.
Okay, so you're sending the ship to go and get that from the Hand.
To bring it here.
Yeah. Or do you want your shuttle to remain on site and have a different shuttle bring it over?
Yeah, a different shuttle. Different
Yeah,
shuttle.
different shuttle.
We need our emergency evacuation shuttle for emergency evacuation.
All right, no worries. Okay, so that is happening in the background. In the meantime, Strain is still keen to keep following, like, trap or not, he wants to keep following.
Well, he's the Inquisitor. I just keep following him.
Yeah, he sort of just keeps. He doesn't ask for permission. He sort of starts walking.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him from killing himself. So
yeah.
What order is this Inquisitor?
Ordo Xenos. So he specializes in aliens.
Okay, so that's why he's incredibly inquisitive about what's happening here. Okay.
Wow, Dave. An inquisitive Inquisitor. Who would have thought?
So after about 30 minutes of walking, you don't come across any other signs of movement. You come across plenty of this whole level of the station appears to be just all storage. And you get past things like weapons and vehicles, and it's things just like non-perishable goods, clothing, furniture. It's just a massive warehouse of just stuff. A lot of devices you can't fathom what they're for. What you do notice is a complete lack of consoles or systems or computers. There's no sort of control services anywhere that you can really see. Even doorways, which are primarily open, if there is a closed door, there's no sort of mechanism, or there's no handle or lock or panel that you would discern how to actually open it, other than blasting it open.
Yeah, so Nero is immediately super smug. He's just like, look, you can't even call this sentience. They don't even have panels. The Omniscience hasn't blessed them at all. This is the technology of primitives.
Finally, after that half an hour, you come through a big archway into this massive open section, which appears to be this very central core of the station. And it is arrayed like a gigantic garden. So imagine sort of like you're like it's a hill in the middle. You're at the base of the hill, so the outer edge is lower, so it's a hill all the way around. There are crystalline trees on the hill. There's grass growing in here. The expanse above you, it opens up into a huge open area above, and there's sort of like a recreated star field. Even though you can sort of make out beyond the starfield, think of like in Harry Potter, the sort of the roof of the common hall, where you sort of see the stars, but you can make out the roof beyond that. In the center of the area is a large column which appears to run up the central spire. Give me awareness plus 10 rolls.
Plus? Don't you mean minus?
When you say
Plus.
Grass, do you actually mean like literal green growy grass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's soil underfoot.
Oh, I still
So many failures.
And I was rolling at a 45. I just rolled bad.
Yep. Oh, good. So yeah, that's the majority of what you see.
Okay.
And so that column, it's rising out of the center of the hill.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And it goes up and So I don't know if you have a look back at the on Roll20, the picture of the construct, you can sort of see. So you're basically in the base of that large tower.
What are we looking at exactly? The picture, right?
Other
The
construct.
Yeah.
So you've entered through the thick section in the middle, and you're in the center of that now, with the tower rising above you.
How do we think gravity is going to work here? Do we like walk up the side of the column, or are there any obvious doorways on this column that we can enter to like ride an escalator to the top?
Okay, so you're happy to head up to the center. So I sort of describe this from the base of the hill as such. So you're looking up the hill towards.
Well, how
this
big
column.
is this hill?
I mean, you're probably talking about 2 miles in diameter.
Okay, so pretty big hill.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Nero's going to start trekking up it. Nothing shows up on like Prey Sense as like an unusual heat source or anything?
No, the temperature here is pleasant. There's almost, once you enter this room as well, there's sort of like a sort of summery smell as well, or a springtime smell. Like it's pleasantly warm. You feel like you're on a planet as such in terms of you don't feel the artificial shift of gravity like you normally feel on Imperial ships. This space here, it's just like being on a planet. Making your way up the hill as well, occasionally you spot. So first off, like you're sort of like looking through your prey sense, and you're more looking for sort of aspects that might be an issue because it's being rendered in sort of like a three-dimensional view. You think you see a person, Nero, like a person sitting down at the ground. When you look again, it's a statue of a person made of the same purple crystal as the trees. Just a statue of a person in like a meditative repose.
Yeah, Nero's definitely going to pass this along. Make sure everybody else takes a look at it. He doesn't say anything. He just gestures with his gun towards it while continuing to march up the hill.
I mean, the Inquisitor goes running over like a giddy child, having found something. He's examining this thing. You know, he makes comments about, "Oh, look at this craftsmanship. This is incredible."
Nero doesn't care. He just keeps going up the hill.
Anyone else check it out, or just leave Train to check it out?
I'll take a look. See,
We just lost Pondo.
Wait for Pondo. Dave, you check it out. You've actually got Medicaid, don't you?
I do, yes.
Give me a Medicaid roll plus 10.
This is without first aid kit. This is just a knowledge thing.
It's not a knowledge thing. Yep.
2.9.
Okay, so the detail of this statue is down to things like individual pores on the skin are rendered in crystal. Imperfections. Like you're without knowing the manner of technology, your assessment is rather than this being a statue of somebody, this is somebody turned into a crystalline statue rather than actually. It has been created through transmutation rather than through carving.
Is it transparent?
Yes.
Is there any organs inside or anything like that?
It's transparent enough that you can make out like structures, but you can't like clearly define that to heart. It's like it's semi-transparent, I should say. So it's like clouded, but you can make out there are structures internally that you would assume are things like potentially heart lungs.
Right. Okay, I understand.
Nope, he's last. We're all good.
Cool. So maybe I'll pass this on this information. I'll just kind of, sort of talk to myself out loud about like how it's more likely that it's a living being being transmogrified into crystal.
Nero's going to shout back down the hill. Should we shoot it?
I don't think that's necessary.
Okay. He keeps marching up the
hill. Nero, you're approaching the base of this pillar now.
Yep.
So there does appear to be like an opening into like a central area, which you would guess is some sort of lift platform or something along those lines.
Okay, but no like panels or signs that say like, "Welcome, Monkey. Lift here. Press this button on the door to."
Yeah, I mean, you see a complete lack of any signage, even in a tongue you don't understand.
Yeah.
There's no.
No, this is good.
But as you're approaching it, there's like a pulse through the bone around you, and what you first think is a ghost sort of materializes in the air in front of you. So,
okay, does it have a heat signature?
It doesn't have a heat signature, no.
Okay, so then I do think it's a ghost.
Yeah, so effectively, it appears to be a male Eldar wearing ornate robes covered in symbols. He appears unarmed. He's all in one color. He's all sort of like this bluish purple color. You don't see any sort of variation for skin tone. I mean, certainly you can sort of see darks and lights. So think of it like a Star Wars type hologram, where only sort of blue. It's like
Force Ghost. All right. So I mean, Nero immediately both guns on him and is saying loudly and very clear, low Gothic, "Hands up on the ground right now." We lost Pondo again.
Yeah, must be having some internet dramas over there. Okay, so he appears uncowed by your threats. He doesn't put his hands up first off. He give me I think what's the right role for this would be. It's like an insight based
awareness monkey.
No, give me scrutiny at +20.
Oh boy, he's actually sneaking up behind me right now. This is just a holographic projection. +20, huh? Wow, I succeeded.
Okay.
I needed all 20 of those points.
So when you first see him and you first threaten him, there is you read from his face is a sort of a mixture of anger and concern, not fear, but more like just concern and anger.
Oh, it's like I'm talking to the Lord Captain. He's like, oh, what a fucking idiot.
But as he examines you and looks you over, there's this moment where he sort of it changes to more of a happy, pleased look. It's rare that people are pleased to see Nero. This guy is pleased to see Nero.
Okay.
Yeah. After he checked you out.
Who's this guy?
Okay. Yeah, let's go back.
Just go
So
back
Nero continued up the hill, and then
imagine like a Star Wars style hologram of an Eldari male appeared, wearing a seer's robes. So to Nero it looks like a ghost, but effectively it's like a projection. And Nero made a fantastic scrutiny roll to determine that although when Nero threatened him to put his hands up, he was at first looked concerned and angry. After he examined Nero, he suddenly looked quite pleased to see Nero.
Okay. So we know that everyone in our party speaks High Gothic, right?
Yes.
All right. So normally I'd speak Rogue Traders can, but the Inquisitor doesn't. So in a loud voice in High Gothic, Nero's going to say something in Imperial battle language words, like readiness, enemy present, while he continues to threaten this person that he believes is a hologram, essentially. And he'll speak in the low Gothic, like he's talking to an idiot or a child, and just be like, "Who are you? Where are you? Do you speak Gothic?"
Okay. He responds in accented low Gothic, but still, good enough to hold a conversation. Just simply a person who can speak it without a native accent. That's it.
Okay, so as soon as Nero understands that this guy speaks low Gothic, he's gonna drop the "oh, you," and talk to him like a normal person.
That's right, because as you know, when someone doesn't speak English, you just speak to them louder and slower. I am Farseer Serenin. You are a agent of the one called Angelique, yes?
One moment.
He points to the action figure strapped to the butt of your gun.
Yes. Nero, again, he'll turn his head away, but because he can see through the gun omniscope, he's still watching this guy at the same time. And he shouts down to the Lord Captain in Rogue Traders Can't, Farseer Serenin wishes to speak to you about your mother. He believes me to be an agent of her. What would you like me to do?
I'll be there in a moment. Oh, sorry, I've been waiting on this soul thing to get here. I think Pierre will go up to.
All right, so in this time, Nero is going to lower the heavy bolter, but continue to threaten with the shoulder-mounted gun, and say, "Farseer Serenin, Angelique Cowles has passed. The new Lord Captain Cowles is coming to address you. You may present."
He nods, and as he's nodding, he's also looking around the room like he hasn't seen this place in a while. It's sort of like he's examining the chamber while also sort of maintaining his awareness of what you're talking about. And he looks genuinely concerned about when you say that Cowles is dead. But then he waits for Pierre to arrive. So everybody now has come up here.
Nero's going to introduce everyone, but he's going to conveniently leave out that there's an Inquisitor with him. He's just going to introduce him as Cassius Schrein.
Doesn't he wear his Inquisition stuff on his shoulder, essentially?
Sure, but
Yeah.
Nero, it'd be like being like, here's the head of the SS. Like, it'd be a little rude.
So Shrey does like this grand gesture and says something in what you'd guess is the Eldari tongue, but like it's like all he knows is, you know, like it's like how most people know, like my name is whatever in someone else's language, you know. So you can say, that's all he knows, and it's like horribly like slow and spaced out. Like he's trying to show off, I speak Eldari, only have to say, you know, hello, my name is Cassius Shrey in Eldar. To which the Eldar does not look impressed at all. And he's sort of like, I speak your tongue, human. It's the response from the Eldar.
Please, Cassius, we should not be rude to them. We are in a vessel of theirs.
Ours, vessel of ours, Lord Captain.
That's true.
Yours, really.
Farseer, to what do I own this honor?
We sensed through the webway that this structure had been entered once more. I simply wished to communicate with whoever had entered this station. I had presumed it would be your mother. You said mother was...
Yes, Angelique Cowles is my mother. She passed away a few odd months ago.
Well, may her soul find solace in whatever afterlife your kind believe in.
Yes. May I ask, was she here before?
Yes, I have spoken with her on one previous occasion.
Would it be too much to ask as to what you spoke to her about?
No, I would happily explain to you what I explained to her to hopefully arrive at the same agreement, if that were possible.
Very well. What was the agreement?
Well, allow me first to... the agreement, to be best understood, you must understand the past. Do you have a moment for me to explain how this place came to be?
Certainly.
Right. He starts making these grand gestures, and as he's telling the story, occasionally, like images will appear on the hill around you, sort of like acting out parts of what he's talking about, like just these sort of ghost images. And you don't see like the full scene. You just see like, you know, a person talking to another person when that's relevant as such. You don't hear voices. It just it adds that little bit of extra element to his story.
I imagine it's like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when they're at Ego's planet and he's telling the history of himself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So
all right, so I want to be clear that Nero has holstered his gun, still has the other gun, but is taking notes now.
Okay. Once, long before the fall of my people, there lived an Eldari artist known as Aranel. Aranel was a painter, and although his works were much sought after for their beauty, Aranel found himself suddenly at a loss for inspiration. Falling into melancholy, Aranel prayed to the gods for guidance, and it said one night he was given a vision by Lilith herself, and the next day he furiously put brush to canvas in an attempt to capture what the goddess of dreams had shown him. Aranel created his masterpiece, but when he looked upon it, he wept, for what he saw on the canvas gave him clarity that only the gods are meant to possess. Some say that Aranel had painted the Runadandra, the end of the Eldari, perhaps even the universe. Maddened by what he had created, Aranel burned his masterwork, yet still the image haunted him. He tried to warn others, but all they saw was a once great artist now driven mad by his own failure. He told us of the doom that would come, but in our hubris, the Eldari ignored him. It is said that Aranel left the world of his birth and traveled to this region of space. Before he left, he told others that he hoped to avert the disaster he had seen upon the canvas, and he believed that such action had to happen here. As before, he was dismissed, but many years later, following the fall, there were those who believed Aranel's vision may have been the war in heaven, the birth of She Who Thirsts, or of all the terrible things that had suddenly befallen our people. There were many who saw Arenal's plan as a last hope to save our people, and so several sought him out. And in this place, they built the Sorrow of Isha, the station in which you now stand. Arenal's followers lived here for millennia, while the galaxy moved on around them. The craft worlds formed, your Imperium rose, the Drakari retreated into the webway. And in all this time, Arenal and his disciples continued to wait, to stockpile, to plan for what would one day come to pass. It's thought that throughout the centuries, Arenal's followers became disillusioned with simply waiting for a battle to avert the visions of his doom. People began to speak of madness once more, and his followers slowly left, until only Arenal remained here. We do not know what became of him, only that the fortress he built remains, a silent sentinel to a doom that never happened, or perhaps already has. What we do know, however, is that forces of darkness are arraying themselves beyond the veil, and all signs point to this region soon becoming a flashpoint in which all living things may soon be imperiled. In the past, when we communicated with the human known as Angelique, she agreed to leave the weapons and equipment on board the Sorrow of Isha untouched, and its location unreported, so long as our people observe non-aggression towards her interests and her kin. This is why I would beseech you to continue this pact. I would be happy if the weapons in this station would never fight in anger again, but I fear what will happen if Arenal's vision comes to pass and we do not have access to the arsenal he has created.
Was it ever recorded what he said exactly was his vision?
The issue was that the vision he experienced was something that mortals were not meant to understand. He couldn't articulate it in such a way that others could clearly glean what he saw, only that it was of great doom.
Is there records of how he articulated it? Perhaps ways to determine common elements?
I've never met Arenal myself, and as I said before, he's been missing for some time, so...
Is there perhaps... Could there possibly be it archived in this fortress, essentially? I'm not sure how your technology works. I'm not sure if you archive old logs. Thoughts.
It has been a little over 100 of your years since I have been on board the Sorrow of Isha. We did some research then. We assessed what was in the spirits then, but we didn't learn more. Something seems different about the Sorrow now, though, as he looks around again. Something has changed.
Well, when we did enter, we ran into two of the, I would say, sentinels that were placed here.
Wraith guards, they were called, yes?
Yes.
Trey nods. We placed no sentinels there. When we left the place last, it was abandoned, as it was when your mother was there.
Nero's going to hold up his depiction of what the Eldari sigil look like that the Wraith guards have.
This is concerning.
You recognize this?
I do. It's of a dead craft world, long dead. I don't know why they would be here. I didn't know that.
What are they called?
I don't have it. I'll need to look it up. I will tell you later. He knows.
He knows.
I will tell you later. He knows. Yep.
Okay.
And,
just making sure.
Yep.
All right.
May I ask one indulgence of you? Sorry, Pierre. Pierre, is that how you say your name?
Pierre.
Lord Captain Cowles.
May I ask an indulgence of you, Pierre, Lord Captain Cowles?
Nice one, James.
You can either refer to me as Pierre or Lord Captain. Either or. And yes, you may ask.
May I see each of your hands unadorned?
Sure. I see no issue with that. I think Pierre will take off his one like metal gauntlet deal.
Yep.
And then show him his hands.
Yep. Shane does the same. Does everyone do the same?
Oh, he's asking for everyone to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nero will do it, but only after he sees everybody else doing it. But he's going to look to the Inquisitor first to make sure this isn't some sort of
the
weird...
Inquisitor's done it, but he only has like the gloves to pull off.
Yeah. Nero is confident.
You've got like unbuckled carapace armor, that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
So I say, only if you do not touch them.
I am not physically there. I cannot touch anything.
Even with your presence. I say, as I take off the gloves, the gauntlets, and Dawn's hands are like super fucking crispy. I would say.
He looks very excited when he sees Dawn's hands. It's like this wave of emotion that it's sort of like he suddenly seems taken back by emotion, and he takes a moment to sort of like to steady himself and to return to a more neutral stance.
So is this essentially Hollet Ghost? Is it like in color or just like one single color, like blue?
No, one single color. He's like a blue purple.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I must ask, he says, this is to Dawn. Do you know where the young king is?
You'll have to excuse me here, James. Is this something that I should know?
No, you don't know.
Okay, all right. Because for a second there, I thought that I'd forgotten something that you told. Because you've told me a lot, and there's probably stuff I've forgotten. So I'll look at him inquisitively, and I'll say, if you're referring to the God Emperor, he is everywhere.
No, not your deity. The young king, the Eldari, the exarch known as the young king.
I'll sort of like put my gauntlets back on as he says this stuff, and I'll say to him, "Is like this sort of questioning. What are you trying to get at?"
I don't mean to cause you offense. They're in our those of us that read the Skeins of Fate have determined that there is a missing young king within the region of space you now exist, and he will be required for the coming conflict. He will be the one that leads us in battle and leads us to, we hope, victory. But as I said, he is lost. And fate tells us that the Monkey, or sorry, the human who is burned but not broken, with hands of ash, will be the one that leads us to the young king. I'd hope that you already knew, but perhaps
out of character.
Yep.
The one that got eviscerated, that was a female, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure it's not an irony that's being asked about. Okay.
Oh, being
perhaps
a part of
not...
Go on, sorry, James.
I said perhaps fate has not yet brought you to this revelation, but it will. We had asked Angelique if she knew of a person that fit this description, and she did not, but she promised to send one if she ever did. When I realized you were agents of Angelique, I had hoped, but it is good to know at least that fate's scheme continues to play out before us.
Things right.
How many years ago did you meet Angelique, if you don't mind me asking?
Only 2 of your years ago.
So Dawn will just nod at that and take her place back behind the Lord Captain.
As you see Pierre, our fates are intertwined in many ways. You control the fate of this station, which our kind needs. Your follower is fated to bring us a great warrior. There must be some way that we can continue to operate in fair terms.
Yes, I do. I would like you to continue this arrangement that you made with my mother. I do have one request: is that if in time that I need, in case I need to fight a great foe, which I will soon enough in a few months' time, that would request your assistance. Perhaps it might be part of this. What's the word? This vision that the man who formed this fort had.
We are some distance from you in terms of travel. We can attempt to reach you in time, but that's all I can promise.
Is there a way that I could easily communicate with you all?
Short of coming here, I don't know. I don't have technology that would allow you to do so.
Understandable. Is this vessel causing a warp fluctuation that's causing messages to be delayed by about a month?
It may influence your understanding of the Sea of Souls in that there is it is connected with the webway, although through a damaged and unused section. But that may influence the way that your primitive understanding of the sea works.
Interesting. Well, I will have us do our best to look for your young king. And I hope to do business with you all in the future as well. I really wish there was an easier way to get a hold of you all in case I have other questions or I need to. I guess short of be just coming back in here and entering, I guess, would be the next time.
So I initially speak only for my own craft world, but we have recently entered into a pact with others of my kind. We are known as the Covenant of Thorns. Our grouping, which includes us, agents of the Corsairs, the Drukhari, and the Reliscari, Harlequins, as you would know them. I will speak with the others next time we gather. Some of them may have better ways to communicate with your kind.
Do you have communications with the ones known as the Crow Spirits?
Some members of the Crow Spirits are a party to our gathering. Others are not. They are not a well-organized group, so to speak, rather a conglomeration of individual warlords and pirate kings.
Is there one among them who would be amenable to communication with our kind?
I'll have to find out.
And what craft world do you represent, Farseer Serenin?
Kaelor. Kaelor, I believe.
I thank you for spelling that in Low Gothic.
Very well. It's difficult to maintain this long-distance communication. If all is well, then I will leave you. I only ask that you leave what you find there untouched, for it will be needed in the future.
Very well. We actually recently ran into a Eldar. And we have this soul gem, essentially, and wasn't really entirely sure what to do with it.
Nero shifts uncomfortably because he's entirely sure what to do with it. But he understands it would not be good to tell them that he wants to step on it.
Perhaps hold on to it until we meet in person one day and then provide it then.
You didn't perhaps send anybody to try to speak with Angelique Cowles, did you?
No.
Oh.
We were waiting for communication from her.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll hold on to it in that case. Do you not have any more questions for us? Because I believe we are done with our questions for you.
No, I think that we've both learned what needs to be learned from this encounter.
Very well. If I hear anything, or I may come back in a couple months' time to see how things are, or if there's any other word that you have.
Very well. May you walk in the footsteps of the gods.
May the God Emperor bless your path.
Yes.
And he disappears.
Nero immediately goes, fuck that guy.
That was a very strange encounter. What do you make of this young king that he kept mentioning?
So this is the Inquisitor speaking now. He mentioned the term exarch before. This is a term they use for their war leaders. So he said something about it being a lost exarch, so a lost war leader, a lost warrior.
Okay, this is the first I've heard of anything like this.
I can probably send off communications to see if the term young king means any to those that are more familiar with the Eldar than I am.
Perhaps it might also be worthwhile asking about this vague scripture that he mentioned about ashen hands. I think he's grasping at straws. I do not believe I have anything to do with any of this. Considering my hands are completely functional.
Yes.
Well, when you're a main character of a story, things tend to fall in line in front of your path.
And Captain, the only main character here is yourself. Everyone else is simply...
No, I'm just the money bags here.
I believe that the truly isn't the Emperor the main character of all of our stories.
Oh, of course.
Once again, Nero, you speak the truth.
Nero nods as if he's very wise. His notes have like dozens of underlinings for terms like Aisha, She Who Thirsts, Drakari. He's going to be going through that the Maleficarum later to try to cross verbiage because he's very dumb. Super dumb.
Well,
I feel like we all learned a whole lot here. Inquisitor, are you satisfied, or do we need to go to the top of the tower and look at the place where all the nice weapons are stored?
No, I feel that if we stay here, we risk. We have an accord right now that we risk if we explore further. Until we know more about who this craft world Kaelor is and what it is they want, I'd like to avoid triggering a conflict. that can come later.
Very well.
Well, there is one thing I'm concerned about.
Yes.
This webway that they're talking about. They say it's damaged. I wonder if we should just, cut the cord, slice it, finish it off, and kind of stabilize the time-space warpiness around here.
Do you happen to know how to do that?
No, I kind of thought that maybe you would know how to do that.
No. Once again, not my specialty.
I would point out that one way to cut things off is to shoot them until they stop doing the thing that they're doing.
You really are a hammer.
Thank you.
He's more of a powered hammer that automates into crushing an object as much as possible.
Nero is swelling with pride at all of these terminologies as he's stuffing his notebook back into one of his uniform pockets and pulling out his heavy bolter again.
Hoping not to run into anything as sort of metal that might slow him down slightly, such as a tank.
So, to answer your question, Master Bullet, I feel that given we've agreed to leave this station unmolested for the time being, destroying it will probably not be in line with that particular agreement, and would potentially trigger that conflict that I hoped to delay. But once again, it is not my station to save or destroy. It is the Lord Captain's decision, I believe.
I say we should leave for now. It is, I'd rather not make too many enemies at the moment.
Yes. When we return to the Hand of Calixis, may I make use of your choir to send some messages? I do understand that they will be delayed, but I would rather get them sent sooner rather than later.
Understand, and as soon as we leave, you can try sending them again if need be. In case we do arrive to our next destination within a month.
Have you decided where you are heading next?
Yes, I do have one more colony I'd like to
check in.
One or two. I'd like to check real quick. One I need to acquire more resources for. I believe a communications system is in order. I was going to do it here, but then I remembered that it would take a month for the message to even get to where it needs to be. And there's a lot of yelling when it comes to acquiring resources from out here.
Very well. Well, let's return to your ship then.
Yes.
So you guys make your way back to the shuttle bay.
I love the idea that there's one guy who's just sprinting constantly. He's like, he ran up, got this fucking gem, and he's sprinting back. He's on a shuttle coming over to where we are, and then we're on a shuttle going back, and we pass each other.
Well, I was going to say his shuttle lands when you reach the shuttle bay. I'm going to say that when you get to your shuttle, pick you up, a second shuttle's just landed, and this guy is coming out with like this box with the thing in it,
drenched in sweat.
Oh, thank you. I don't need it at the moment. We can take that back to the ship.
Oh, very good, Lord Captain. He returns to his shuttle.
Good work, though. Be sure to go ahead and get an extra ration for the day.
Oh, thank you, Lord Captain. You are most beneficent.
Take the box.
Be sure to return it to my quarters before I arrive.
So while you're flying back to the Hand, your shuttle is raised by the Vox operator. Lord Captain, something odd has happened. While you were on that station, a number of communications came through to the ship that was sent actually only recently. Something you did on that station allowed the communications to arrive in normal time, not be subject to the regular delays of this system.
Oh. Interesting.
Nero looks super smug for no apparent reason. He's just thinking about blowing up the webway. He doesn't know what it is.
That's right. Something you did? I heard something I did.
Is this
You
still the
made
case
this?
at the moment?
No,
Or
I made this.
We wouldn't know whether that's anymore. We would need to send a message, or at least receive one to know. Are there any messages you would like the choir to send?
Yes, the Inquisitor has one that he will send once he either gets there, or he could tell you now. It's up to him.
The Inquisitor's like, no, I'd rather do this in person. I have to. A lot of my messages are sent in code, so.
Very well. We'll do it later.
Very good. The Voxer says there actually is a high priority communication that was received for the Inquisitor too. It's encoded, so we put it aside for when he's arrival.
Excellent.
So when he hears that, Nero stands up and starts stretching because he's sure that we're gonna have to do something. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows that vacation time just ended.
The Inquisitor says over the Vox, operator, the first line should not be of any code, correct? Operator acknowledges. Could you just tell me what the first line is so I know the importance? And the Voxer responds, it's according to this, it says Fang ascends is the first line. And the says, very good. I'll examine it when I return. He sits down smugly as though he knows what's going on. No one else does. The shuttle redocks into the Hand of Calixis. The Inquisitor goes off to get his messages. So there is also messages. Well, there is a message here for Pierre from the Adeptus Mechanicus station in the Calixis sector, which is looking after the servitor.
Oh, excellent.
So it basically explains that they have continued to milk what they can out of the servitor and this relationship with this Ozcan. Apparently, they've reached something of a negotiation stalemate, however, because through whatever means he can, Ozcan has determined that they have not yet removed the populace from Regina 4 yet. And he's very much a sort of, okay, so we've shown our goods. When are you going to come through with your end of the bargain and clear your population off our planet? They've also determined, however, that based upon the conversations they've had with the servitor, that Ozcan only believes the colonists to be the imperial population. As far as he's concerned, the Aboriginals on the planet are part of the planet's part of the lab structure. Like effectively, he doesn't want them removed. In fact, they have to stay. They are all part of the experiment which is running.
Oh, so I didn't have to worry about the Aborigines anyway.
Lord Captain, those are valuable members of the Imperium. Sister Miriam is currently teaching them the true ways of the Emperor.
I am curious how they're able to tell, even though they're not here yet, that they're still on the planet. I'm guessing that the
Giant underground stone pyramid?
Yes, is probably the reason. And I wonder if there's a way to turn that off in order to convince them to more.
Well, haven't the Space Marines been, turning off the engines so that thing doesn't have power anymore?
Yeah.
If you'll recall, I previously attempted to turn off the power there, but then a swarm of mecha beetles ate my arm.
I also recall that the beetles kept on repairing the core that was giving them the power.
Yes. But I assume that the Space Marines can kill the mecha beetles.
Well, effectively, what's happened is someone's gone in and shut the plasma drive off on the actual on the so they don't need to worry about it then.
Nero
so
turns to the rogue figure and nods because that makes perfect sense to him.
Sorry.
Yes, what that person said, Lord Captain. Obviously, the Space Marines are dealing with it.
Didn't the Space Marines leave?
I thought they were staying there in order to build up your forces there for when we inevitably have to fight Trash Can. Ozcan.
Yeah, it wasn't just a librarian that left.
The Space Marines never arrived on Regina.
Oh, okay.
They sent some people over to collect the stuff that you had recovered, but it was your Mechanicus team which disabled the plasma drive so that it wasn't charging.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have a message sent out to Regina 4 asking about any sort of Mechanicus people we've left there, and asking if the plasma drives are still offline.
Okay.
If they can, if possible.
So when you send that message, they do let you know that the whatever phenomena was causing it to be delayed is back again now, and so they'll get their message in about a month's time.
Well, okay. Of course.
So we'll probably get there before they do.
Well, you're not going straight there though. You're going somewhere else first, I believe.
Oh,
Right.
are we? I guess I didn't understand that.
I was kind of wanting to see the one colony that we didn't have.
Oh, you're going to the last colony now?
Oh, it's the second to last, because I think we have 5 colonies. Am I correct? Regina 4.
4. You've been to 2 of your 4. You haven't been to Hoarfrost. You haven't been to Outpost 13.
Yeah.
Oh, is Outpost 13 actually a colony?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Outpost 31. Sorry,
31,
I'm thinking.
yeah.
I'm thinking the 13th station.
Yeah, so yeah.
That'd be a weird
Outpost
place to
31
set up a colony, I would think. Pretty
yeah, Outpost
warpy.
31 is someone named after the Thing.
The Thing.
Yeah, the movie The Thing. It's Outpost 31's the name of the station in The Thing.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. It's my homage to John Carpenter.
And John Carpenter. Well, Lord Captain, I'm gonna go. I don't know. I was thinking of harassing Riani, but Sister Dawn made me accept her as like a, living sentient being, emotions and stuff.
I'm glad you're finally growing, Nero.
What else were they able to milk out of the our friend?
They haven't shared that in these communications. Just that they've gotten stuff.
I'd like to know what stuff. I like stuff.
Well, if you want to know what kind of stuff, maybe you should go talk to them, Lord Captain.
Yes. Are they back at
They're in the Calixis sector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not in the Expanse.
They're back at
Scintilla.
Not Scintilla. It's another world in the
Okay.
sector. But yeah, you have to go all the way back to Port Wanda and then go further from there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking like a 2-month round trip to go do that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not going to be possible at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. When you guys will be back in about half an hour, there is a message through like the General Hale that the Inquisitor would like to see Nero in his chambers with a degree of urgency.
Shit. I think Nero's gonna turn to Sister Dawn and say, I don't know what I did, but I assume it was something I said, and I just want it known in case I don't come back that I'm very seriously considering converting to the faith of the God Emperor instead of just like believing in the Emperor. All of your faith healing is really opening my eyes. And Miriam's, the Emperor really has been looking out for me. Remember that time we almost killed a loyal Space Marine and then we didn't by accident? I really feel like the Emperor is really watching us.
She wasn't there for that.
Well, that's true.
Well, I will say that I'm very ecstatic that you have made a decision to follow through on your faith. It'll lead you down the righteous path.
I'm gonna go get tortured now, if you'll excuse me.
I was gonna Dawn, as you're leaving, will say, all hardships will grow you in ways that you could never possibly imagine.
Nero turns, walking backwards. I was gonna wait for you to finish.
No, yeah, go on.
Here's the thing that I've learned, Sister Dawn, is that what doesn't kill you just leaves you weaker for the next thing, and the thing after that, and the thing
Not
after
if you're
that.
blessed by the Lord Emperor.
Well, we'll see. Nero arrives outside of the Inquisitor's chambers. He walks there instead of using the golf cart.
Okay, no, just to delay the time it takes to get there.
No, I don't want the golf cart to have to suffer for any of Nero's possible mistakes.
All right.
It's in my will and legacy. I leave Dawn my golf cart.
I'm leaving it to Riani.
No.
I thought you were going to ask Dawn to hide your porn if you died.
Clear my browser and my browser history.
Oh, he probably will talk to his gun on the way to the Inquisitor's room, just so, you know, check in and do some machine spirity stuff. Because he definitely 100% believes in the machine spirit.
Yep.
And the Omnicide.
Whatever happens, you've been a good gun.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that's what he's saying. He's very happy that we were able to kill those mechanized Aldari, right? And he's just like, you're better than them. You always have been and you always will be. Thank you so much for your service. He's gonna knock on the Inquisitor's door.
You knock on the door. The door opens up. Strain's in there now. He has strapped on. Normally, he doesn't carry weapons that you've seen.
Yep.
But he is now strapped on. He's got a power sword at his belt, and also an ornately made plasma pistol on the other hip as well.
Yeah, Nero knows what's happening.
He says, Master Bullet, please come in, please.
Nero steps in.
Close the door behind you.
Shuts the door behind him.
I wanted to see if I can confirm a room with you.
Yes.
I've heard it told that you have claimed in the past that you believe yourself capable of perhaps taking on a space marine, a member of the Emperor's Astartes.
Nero immediately says, "Good Inquisitor, please allow me to clarify that. I believe..."
Is correct. Do you believe that you could do this?
I believe I could take on a Chaos Space Marine, and that as a measure of a man, I would hope that one day I would be recognized as being as good as a Space Marine. Could I kill his... Wait, is this double jeopardy? Are you trying to... I functionally believe that my skill level is good enough to take on a Space Marine. I literally did draw down on a Space Marine librarian and resist his attempts to control me and had a gun pointed at his head. So I would functionally say that I am capable of executing a Space Marine some of the time.
Well, we may need to put this to the test, because I believe that there is a rogue Astartes operating on this ship with the intent of killing you and your crew.
Okay, there are several things to break down there. When you say rogue Astartes, do you mean Chaos Space Marine, or just like a very upset Space Marine, like loyalist Space Marine?
I mean that he is acting against the will of the Imperium, regardless of what master he serves.
Okay. Does he have his power armor and weapons?
I don't know.
Shouldn't he be really easy to spot on the ship? Isn't he going to be like 2 feet taller than everyone else?
All right. Perhaps we need to discuss this with your captain as well.
Yes, let's do that.
But you need to be... I need to put you on notice that this man is on board your ship and is extremely dangerous.
And what's his name?
Anias.
Anias, okay.
Yes. If you're talking, Pondo, you're muted. No, he's talking to Cotton.
And why... Wait, what Space Marine order does he belong to? Which Brotherhood?
The Death Watch.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Nero just says it. He's just like, I'm sorry, there's a rogue Death Watch agent on board the ship? Isn't that your forte?
Indeed.
Maybe you want to get on comms and be like, hey, Anias, stop trying to kill everyone on the ship.
If I thought it would make a difference, then I would.
All right, I'm going to stop suggesting plans to you. I think that we should go to the bridge immediately. I feel like not bringing the golf cart was a mistake. So Nero's gonna quickly get on the house phone and call Dawn and the Lord Captain and get them to meet at the bridge's like antechamber room, and then call Sargon and have the entire ship's complement ready to like bolt all the hatchways and start looking for Anais, essentially.
This is a good place to have a break.
It is. James, I have a quick question. Do Space Marines have like a really recognizable biological signature? Like they're warmer than normal humans, or their super tallness and dense muscles show up on sensors or something?
Yeah, they'd certainly like. I mean, if you had a group of people, I mean, aside from the fact you could visually inspect them, then any sort of cursory scan will show that they're definitely gene forged. Yeah, they have like their bone structure is different. Their ribs are all fused, so any sort of X-ray would show that too. So,
well, I don't think we're going to be able to X-ray the whole crew, but yes.
Yeah, but blending in very difficult for a Space Marine. Not impossible, but very difficult.
When we come back from the break, we're going to hear about Nero's paranoid delusions on how to find Anais and then shoot him in the face. There we go. Intermission. Stick around for the second half.